Hey, what's going on everybody? Raging Phoenix here, and today I'm playing a game called Get to the Orange Door. So the thing about this game that I find really interesting is it's like a combination of all kinds of different genres. Like, it's a first-person shooter, it's kind of like a roguelike game, it's somewhat of a survival game, it's a parkour game. Like, there's just so much going on in this game that I really love. One thing I do want to show, because I'm pretty sure like it doesn't talk about it in the tutorial. If it did, I probably missed it, but if you come over here, there's actually a workbench here. There's also this little machine that you can deposit and withdraw like shards that you gather in the game. And then there's a locker here that you can stash items in. And I never knew that this stuff was here when I first started playing. I never even came over here. And the reason all this stuff is here is because during the game you can extract pretty much it's just like a whole like portal that you open to return back to this place, and then you can resume from where you left off. But when you come back to this place, you can just run over here if you have like a really good gun or just an item you don't want to get rid of. Just throw it here in the locker for the next run. But if you have like a bunch of shards on you, just come over here and then put the shards in there, and you're pretty much good to go for your next run. So it's almost like you just come here, say the stuff you want, and pretty much reset yourself, which I think is pretty cool. And then pretty much the rest of the time as you're playing this, like stuff like this, the dumpsters, the trash cans, even like vehicles like this will have like this hatchback and doors and stuff that you can just walk up to, interact with. And as you can see right there, I got shards and I got bullets for my gun. Right there in the bottom left corner, you can see what looks like a crystal. Those are the shards. I just got 10 from that dumpster. You have to have at least 1,000 in order to put it into this machine, so that's one thing to keep in mind. I also didn't know that. I was sitting here for the longest time like clicking on this trying to get the shards to deposit, and it wouldn't. I was stupid and didn't see down there that it says minimum of 1,000. So, but yeah, that's pretty much one thing to keep in mind over here, that this is here for you. And the reason that there's this bed right here, it says sleep to reset run. What happens is you can come over here and like after you put your shards in there and you put all your items in here, if you look at the top and you see that your shields are low, or actually your shields never go low, they do recharge, but if you see that your health is low and you're about to die, you can just come over here and go to bed, and then when you sleep you reset the run, and then your health is full and you can just start from where you left off. So also after you reset the run, you can just come over here, open the locker, get the gun that you want and take off, or you can come over here, get the shards that you deposited and take off. So yeah, it's pretty cool that you can just come over here and like stash all the stuff you want to keep. Also, if you do like deposit shards in here, the thing that's cool is you can take those shards, withdraw them out of that machine, and then come over here to this workbench. Whenever you come over to the workbench, you can take just this pistol that you have here, or you can take a weapon that you stashed in the locker here, and then you can come over to the workbench and you can pretty much just upgrade your weapon here. So like you see right there, it places it there. You have to have 1,000 shards to upgrade. You can also craft keys with 1,000 shards. The keys in this game are really important too, because the keys will open various doors where you can go to bunkers, go to areas to upgrade yourself, like give yourself perks, curses, stuff like that. So keys are really important too, but it's also really important to upgrade your weapon as well. So yeah, that's pretty much all about this stuff here. And then when you come over here, there's this little person here just floating, and it just says mysterious light, but when you interact with it, you have permanent upgrades here. And you see up here that it says I have 0 jade vines right now. Jade vines are what you use to upgrade all of this stuff, so pretty much you can increase your health, your shield, your overshield, all that stuff. Also, with this, you can make it where you can dash more, you can hold more stuff in your inventory, you can make it where you start off with more shards, so it gives you plus 100 each time. So that's really good too, because the more shards you have, the more you can spend while you're in the game or while you're here in the hub, stuff like that. And then you also have this over here where you can have extra lives, you can have a faster ult drain, a faster ult regen, stuff like that. It's really good to have the starting lives though, because extra lives in this game to me is really important, because there are those times where the game gets so difficult that you're just gonna die. So having that extra life where you can just get back up and keep going is really good. But I also do like just getting the more health and shield because that'll pretty much guarantee that you stay alive longer. So another important thing to do when you're here in the hub is come back this way into this little cave looking area here, because when you come all the way back here, you pretty much enter the gear shop, and you can also get like loot from the back of this truck here. There's also a loot crate here that you can get shards from. As you can see right there in the corner, I got more shards. And then when you come over here, oh, there's also a dumpster here, hold on a second. When you come over here, there's stuff that you can craft here. So how I showed that back there, you can deposit shards. You can take those deposited shards, come over here to grab a gun, which will give you a random weapon. So if you don't have any weapons like in your locker or anything, you can come to this, get a random weapon, and hopefully you'll get something good out of this. It's random, so you never know, but yeah, that's a really good one there. And then you can also just buy a weapon here. You can also get an ammo pack here, which just gives you extra ammo. And then you can also craft keys here too. So this one gives you a handful of keys, while you saw over there on the workbench that you only get one key. So you probably would want to come here first, see how much you get from this, and then if you don't get much from this, you can go back and craft keys at the workbench. But yeah, there's all kinds of stuff here that you can buy too. I really do like the grab-a-gun because it's not much and it does give you something better than the starter pistol here. Also, I forgot you can go in the trash cans and get loot too. So yeah, there's that thing there. So this is another thing here in the hub world that I have never used actually. But this is called Build-A-Bang Engine, and it says weapon upgrade machine 5,000 shards, so I'm assuming that using this it'll give you like a really crazy weapon upgrade. But again, I've never used this one because it costs 5,000 shards, and until I realized you can save shards over at the whole deposit thing, I would always just lose all my shards during my runs, so I never actually had shards to spin here. So maybe at some point if I can upgrade a weapon, I'll come back here and see what that has to offer, but yeah, I've never used this before. So here's another thing in the hub world that's really important to keep in mind. It's a trial totem. So as you can see, it says the difficulty is dormant, aka easy, and if you just interact with it, it'll switch it to wary, which is normal, and then it'll switch it to witness, which is hard. So you pretty much just change your difficulty here. To be honest, I actually never knew that this was here, so I've always been playing the game on normal, but yeah, you can change your difficulty here if you don't want the game to be too hard or if you really want a challenge. So that's a pretty cool thing to point out there. So this is another thing that I've never used. This is the training igloo. So apparently when you come into this room, you can, I guess, train, practice, aim train, stuff like that, but I've never actually used this because I just hopped into the game and already seemed like I was doing fine. So but if you ever do want to check this out, it is there, just so you know. So yeah. So another thing that's actually really interesting about this game that I do want to point out before I actually go up there and begin is, depending on the weapon that you have, you can change the fire mode. So you start off with this little pistol here, and the thing that's cool about it is you can keep it in the semi-automatic, like in the semi-automatic mode where it just fires like a normal pistol, or you can right click and it changes it to a 3-round burst now. So that is one thing that I really do enjoy about this game, is the whole variety when it comes to weapons. You can just pick up a weapon, and depending on what weapon it is, right click just to see what it has to offer. And yeah, it's really cool because again, it offers so much variety. I even had a shotgun in this game before that it had the regular buckshot, and I was kind of upset with the gun because it seemed like it didn't have very good range. It wasn't hitting very good, but when I did the right click, it changed it to a slug shot, which made it where it had more range and was more accurate. So yeah, it's just really cool how you can switch the firing modes on all the guns in the game, or not all of them, but most of them. Alright, so when you come up this little walkway over here, that's when you'll get into this room, which pretty much just teleports you into the game. Actually, let me go back real quick, make sure I didn't put it on hard, because I don't want this to be too challenging for me. it's on normal. Okay. So, whoops. So yeah, when you go up this walkway here, you pretty much just enter this room here, and this will teleport you into the game itself. You'll get a little bit of a flashbang there. And then this is pretty much where you start every time. So, and as soon as you start, these enemies will start attacking you. In this game, I will recommend that you pretty much melee to start because it's a lot easier to just bash through all of these enemies. Also, when you melee enemies, you get shards and you get more bullets, stuff like that. Sometimes you'll even get keys, but most of the time you just get shards and bullets. So it's pretty easy to just kind of whack your way through all these guys just by meleeing all the time. After a while, it does get hard where it's you pretty much just can't melee all the time, but I do recommend just meleeing all the time in the very beginning. But once you notice that the difficulty is getting to the point where you can't melee so much, yeah, just start firing away. One thing I wanted to point out too is whenever you find like these bus looking things, always check the top of them because they do have this hatch that gives you random loot. I never knew they had the hatches on top like that before, but at one point I decided to climb on top of these pretty much for cover from the enemies, and I noticed that that hatch was there. So yeah, it's really good to just pretty much check everything in the game because you never know where you're going to find random loot, all kinds of other stuff. So whenever you see a glowing object like this just hanging somewhere, every time you see those you just want to shoot it because it will always give you a key. Keys can be used for doors in this game, which will give you access to bunkers where there's a lot of loot, and also some of the bunkers that you enter will like give you specific perks that you can use to pretty much make the game easier on yourself. Sometimes you'll also get curses in the game, which will make it where the game's harder, but you also have like a really good perk on top of it. So yeah, it's just really good to get as many keys as you possibly can throughout the game because the more loot the better. Plus, if you can just keep stocking up on perks, you'll pretty much be unstoppable at a certain point. So this is what the bunker doors look like. As you saw before, I already grabbed a key, so you just walk up to this, insert the key, and there you go. You'll find most of the bunkers are like this, where there's just random loot crates. There's also a workbench in here if you want to upgrade your weapon, buy more keys, stuff like that. Oh, and look at that, I got a key already. So yeah, you can just loot these crates. Sometimes, like you saw there, you'll get keys, you'll get shards, you'll get bullets, all kinds of stuff. I really like these bunkers more than anything because you do just get random loot, but some of them, they do give you perks, as I said before, and also give you curses. So it just depends on the bunker. The bunkers are pretty random. I think the ones that give you curses do have like a red light outside of them. I could be wrong on that, but yeah, it's just good to get as many keys as possible so that you can check out all the different bunkers, get as much as you can, and just go crazy kicking ass against the enemies. So pretty much as the title says, your goal in this game is to get to the orange door, which is right there in the middle of this tree. So every time when you come to this platform right here, come on, there it goes. So it'll be at 100%, and you pretty much just gotta kill enemies in order to pretty much, I guess, charge the platform in a way. And once you get it down all the way from 100% to 0%, you can progress to the next part. Be very careful in this area though, because enemies do like to overwhelm you a lot. As you can see, I'm already about to die. So yeah, for this part, as you can see here, pretty much this is the safest place to stay because the enemies cannot come up here. It's always good to find that safe spot that you can hide where the enemies just cannot reach you whenever you're charging this, because you do get like a whole crap ton of enemies coming after you, and once it starts getting to the harder difficulty, like once the enemies start getting harder, yeah, it's just going to be really difficult to survive this kind of stuff. So alright. And then once all that's done, you get this right here. That pretty much just lets you select an upgrade. It's always good to collect these, the Jade Vines, because this is what gets you the permanent upgrades back in the harbor. So it's always good to collect these, but if this isn't available, you can just go ahead and get stuff like this, refill your ammo, refill your health, stuff like that. But it's always good to grab these. But yeah, you'll always get just some random perk like that at the end, like refill ammo, refill shield, stuff like that. And then you just simply walk through this door and you're on to the next part. So another thing I forgot to show before here in the whole hub part of the game is you pretty much just got to come back here. It's kind of a long walk. So I'm not really sure what this is for. Let me see here. Oh. So for this you gotta find a joystick in order to use this. I don't even know what it's for. It does say I can learn a thing or two on the thing, but I don't know what that's supposed to mean unless it's supposed to be like where you can learn new skills or something. But yeah, I've never actually been able to use this because I've never found the stick before. So there's also this thing over here where you can apply runes, it says. And there's all these different ones, but I haven't found a single one of them, so. But yeah, it says right here just game modifiers, so I don't know like what these would do exactly, but yeah, I haven't found a single one of these. So those are back here, and then there's also a little spot over here. So there's a fishing spot here, so I guess you could fish in this game, but every time when I try to it says if only I had some line, so I guess you gotta find fishing line in the game too in order to use that stuff. But yeah, pretty much all the stuff back here you gotta go through the game, find the right thing, and then just apply it to the stuff here, including this thing here. There's a dungeon trial totem, but it seems like something's missing. So yeah, I pretty much gotta find everything in order to unlock all this stuff. But yeah, all that stuff is back here. I forgot to mention that before. So alright, so now the thing that I do want to show you guys, because I did come in here and loot this room, I ended up getting something called a harbor scroll. So when you open your inventory, it'll be right down here, and what happens is it'll open up that portal, and that's how you get back here. So since I do want to keep the slight machine gun for future runs, and I do want to donate some shards, I just got to come over here, go to my locker, put that in there, and then deposit shards, and you're good to go. So that's pretty much how you come back here to do whatever you need to do. You cannot get upgrades over here because as the run is going, it'll say that she seems to be in a deep trance, so you can't get upgrades as the run is going, but you can come back there and just pretty much deposit all the weapons and stuff you want to and then continue the run. So Okay, so as you can see here, this door. Oh, hold on a second. Alright, so as you can see here, this door does have like this red light next to it. So when you come in here, this is a curse bunker, and whenever you select an upgrade from this, it'll be like a really good upgrade, but it'll have like pretty much a consequence to it too. So as you can see here, enemies take 200 damage, however they can only be killed with melee, stuff like that. So yeah, pretty much every single thing in here, it's going to be a really good upgrade, but it's just going to make the game a lot more difficult as well. So pretty much take these at your own risk. So that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about. I give this game a 9 out of 10 because it's just really entertaining. I've been playing this game for hours and I love it so much. I highly recommend checking this out. If you guys did enjoy the video, remember to like, subscribe, all that stuff, and I'll talk to you guys next time. If you want an energy supplement that's actually good and doesn't taste like shit, I recommend checking out W using the link in the description down below. Use code RP98 to get 10% off your order.